Hello, folks. This is Steve AB4. I was just staring out the window. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Great temperatures. Nice sunshine. No more overcast like the last couple of days of letting my mind wander. Nothing in this episode is a recommendation, nor is it a promotion. This is a kind of I told you so episode. Now, the headline right now on Slashdot, it's a double I told you so. The headline on Slashdot right at the moment is TurboTax to pay $141 million settlement over deceiving millions of low-income Americans. Now, I made an episode not too long ago when I was preparing my taxes about a report of vulnerabilities sneaking into your computer if you use one of those free online sites. And I said, mailing it, the cost of a postage stamp, it might be safer. The Washington Post reports TurboTax will begin sending checks next week to nearly 4.4 million low-income Americans whom the company deceived into paying for tax services that should have been for free, according to the New York State Attorney General. Yeah, I bypassed all of that just by printing the forms off and paying for it. Boy, the first-class postage costs a lot more money than when I was a kid. I think when I was a kid it was 4 cents. Yeah, they used to have half-penny stamps. If you didn't seal the envelope, it was a half a penny less postage. Or a little later, a penny less. Things have been simplified since then, right? Oh, but that's not what I want to talk about. See, my mind wanders. I'll recreate it for you. Pardon my frog. This is a site that I began reading recently, dark reading, 2 years after Colonial Pipeline, meaning the attack. U.S. critical infrastructure still not ready for rent. That caught my eye simply because one of those pipelines that got affected goes through and also terminates in North Carolina. Oh, is that where I am? Bleeping computer. Here we go. New paper cut RCE, remote code execution. Exploit creates that bypasses existing detection. So just in this past week, there's been a lot. I don't know who the paper cut servers are. Print management software. First time I'm looking. PaperCut empowers you to make printing easy again for your end users, whether they're printing from a BYOD, bring your own device, or a mobile device, and during the last 5 to 6 months, Microsoft screw up the printing services so bad on all the Windows versions. The PaperCut vulnerability, tracked as, is a critical severity, unauthenticated remote code execution flaw in PaperCut MF or NG versions 8 and later that has been exploited in ransomware attacks. Now remember, I was letting my mind wander. So I started to read this, and they're talking about how there's been successive ways that they were getting in through that print server. And then it said, researchers soon exploited proof of concept exploits. They show you how to do it. For that flaw, with Microsoft confirming it was exploited, and then so the people who were saying, I figured out you can do it this way, you can do it this way, this is how they're getting in. And Microsoft is saying those people are pretty smart. Since then, multiple security companies have released detection rules, how you can figure out if you have had somebody backdoor you. You're doing it that way. If you have the paper cut printer, blah, blah, blah. But then I got down to this. However, a new attack method discovered by Volnunchek can bypass existing detections. So like if this was a bad guy, he could be getting in there and nobody would know. Because he's already understands how all those other ones work, and he figured out a different way to get in through that susceptible server set of software without people being able to see it. So I was wondering who he is. This is how my mind wanders. And then what I did was, after I was reading this a little bit, I was exploring around the website here. Who are these people? Who's the company? I'm clicking on it, and it does this kind of stuff. But I don't, I like to see who the team is. So I had to satisfy myself to go to Twitter. That's what Junior Baines, Lyndon Baines Johnson, President of the United States. Jacob Baines, Junior Baines. I'm not promoting anything, folks. Just showing you how my mind wanders. Suburban Philadelphia. He must be a good boy. And he's got a GitHub. Should I trust it? Now you're wondering why I said that. Let's copy the link address. Now, in the past, I've told you about VirusTotal. It is now a Google-owned consortium, started in Brazil, got hundreds of cooperators. It's a safety mechanism. It isn't totally foolproof, but you can come here for free and quickly, and you click on the URL thing, and you paste the URL in. Now, this is a shortcut. I have no idea. It's a shortcut, t.co. Here, he's claiming it's a shortcut to his GitHub, owned by Microsoft, where you can publish your code ideas or whatever, blogs. So this guy, Jacob Baines, Suburban Philadelphia, hacking at Volnunchek, a company. First time I ever heard of him today. So I'm going to ask them, VirusTotal, to check his GitHub repository. Well, you would think that Microsoft does that, right? Remember, I'm letting my mind wander. I'm showing you how I learn things. Accidentally. There turn out to be aha moments sometimes. Now, there are some checkers, they either don't have a way to check it or that's not a format that they normally can check. But that's a lot of green. He's clean. It was last checked a moment ago. They checked it for me. So no one else has ever checked him on virus total. Oh, I didn't know that because it said a moment ago that means it was me. Now you're going to wonder, who cares? Hang on. So I'm scrolling down here to see what this guy is like. And so like here, May 5th, well, that's yesterday, both proving my point, it is possible to develop a good detection, and misrepresenting what I wrote in a single sentence, undetected does not equal undetected. I don't understand this. Somebody was being a wise guy. My detection, which I wrote in a 15-minute break, the guy is patting himself on the back, still works against their undetectable logic. And he's got a GitHub link. But this is a reproduction, so can I get the link? And it doesn't say copy the link. Now hang on. So on the 4th of May, this guy, Jacob Baines, there are multiple paths to code execution on paper cut after authentication bypass. In this blog, he's the one we went to, that Bleeping Computer thought was great, and they wrote an article basically circling around that. I show how to use, and then he goes on, and you can check it out. Wait a minute. So I want to learn a little more about who this guy is and how he thinks. So May 4th, similar malicious point of concept repository as we saw yesterday. This time the attacker appears to put a small amount of effort into making the profile look legit. And he's quoting himself. And he's referring to this guy. Now, wait a minute. And then I caught the next thing after it. Now notice the tone of how he's talking. This guy here. Now let's look at the next one. This is Jacob Baines again, who's sort of the star of the Bleeping Computer article published today. This is why this security company that he works at, validates every GitHub repository. So I can sign up, thank you Microsoft, for free and have a GitHub. I can have more than one repository and I can put stuff out there. But I caught this. He said, this is why we validate every GitHub. I just showed you two other people who had links to theirs, and I showed you that for this guy, he was using a URL shortener, and I put that into virus total because I can't even see where it goes. There's this stuff about pay your parking meter fine by using your smartphone on this thing there, and they take all your money out of your bank account because you can't directly read what it actually points to. So what I did is I said copy link address because that's a real link, and he's pointing to something here. And I went to virus total. So I'm just letting my mind wander, just like I showed you before. Only now it's an actual GitHub link. No, not that one. Or maybe he did shorten it. Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me copy it again. Let me open do this. Now that's a shortened one. Let me just show you. Just so you, this is good. If you don't know what a shortened one is, I'll show you. See that big long thing with a long hash on it? What he did is he uses a service called t.co. I've never gone that I can remember. T.co. Twitter, I'm just learning something. Twitter uses the t.co domain as part of a service to protect users from harmful activity, to provide a value for the developer ecosystem, and as a quality signal for servicing relevant and interesting. So, okay, so now I just learned something. So now I understand that although he may have put this long hash pointer to something, since it's on Twitter, Twitter checks it. And when you try to copy the link, you don't get the verbatim, what you're seeing there, you get the shortened URL approved and tested. I'm just learning something by Twitter. I didn't even know that. So let's put this interesting shortened one into VirusTotal. And there it is. This was done, okay. And now I hit enter. And it says, now wait a minute, that's not what I saw before. So that, now wait a minute. Copy link address. Hang on. This is not what happened before. This is not what happened before. Apparently that's him. I've never done that. I don't open. Now what I'm going to do is, I see what I did wrong. He's showing what happened when he submitted it to VirusTotal. Okay, now we got it. See, I'm letting my mind wander. You saw me make a series of mistakes, even though after I did it before, because I don't know everything, and I'm learning as I go. And now I understand how he was putting it on Twitter, and how Twitter also is in the act behind the scenes on a lot of this stuff, checking it. What he was saying was that somebody said, "Oh, I've got another way of getting around that paper cut thing. And I'll show you how the proof of concept out there on GitHub. It's owned by Microsoft. Go look at it." And what the security researcher Baines is saying is, I don't just click on links, especially when it comes to people making boasts like that. First thing I do is I go to VirusTotal and I let them do it before I do it. Can you see what now, all VirusTotal is doing now is he gave us a link to the VirusTotal return status for that. Trojan, Linux, generic, Trojan, Linux, Trojan, Linux. You understand what a Trojan is? Malware. Gets into your computer and does malicious score 99. Malware, Linux, malware, Trojan. Look at all the... Now, Avast Mobile didn't detect anything. Baidu, which is China, didn't detect anything. Fortinet doesn't detect anything. ClamAV, which is the Linux antivirus, you're for free, put it even on your Windows computer, didn't detect anything wrong. Trend Micro, which is a leading name in the field, didn't detect anything wrong. But a whole AVG did. Bitdefender did. MSsoft did. I've talked about them in a video. McAfee did. Avira did. Avast did. The whole Microsoft did. Now, they don't all look at it the same way, which is the point of this. You should be nervous if only one finds a problem, but it might be there's something wrong with their detection system. But when this many, not all of them, but when this many find it, so I was getting the URL shortened by Twitter, which I couldn't read directly, which was part of the stumbling block. But Twitter does it as a convenience. But when that security researcher saw it on his account, somebody replying to him, what do you think it was saying? "Oh, you're the big security researcher? Let me see if I can do it to you." Just letting my mind wander. Steve AB4L, it's nice outside. I think I'll go out and mow. I still got I've been mowing almost every day. I still got some patches that need my attention. Steve AB4L, just having fun, letting his mind wander, saying see you in 73.